Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Here we are, episode 3 of Mom Proof, the art of being comfortable with uncomfortable.
Yep.
But our series is staying bothered. And what are we bothered about? We're not bothered about being parents or anything. Just kidding.
That ended after graduation. It just went poof. I feel so
our job was
enlightened.
over.
That's right.
Isn't that right? For that kid?
Isn't that what they said?
They graduate and we're done. That's funny.
Didn't happen.
No.
Well, but overall, I feel like there's been a nice evolution for our conversation to go this direction. Because how do you stay connected in parenting when they are evolving? And how do we stay bothered about that? I mean, I think that's an important goal for all of us to not think we just go, my job ended at graduation from high school. There's
milestones.
Yeah.
When I get here,
correct.
then it will be this way.
You may have a perception.
It's constant. It really is constant.
Yeah.
And I think it's been a surprise of what I expected and what's happening is so different. I think I think when they were still in school, it was like they were almost feeling the responsibility. It wasn't just us as parents, but then there were certain requirements they had to have during high school, right?
Absolutely.
And now they're kind of like, hey, I'm free.
The schedule has
there
been
is a lot of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to just go on record. That bothers me.
Yeah.
And they sleep till noon. Okay, don't be mad at me. I love you,
Sorry,
girl.
guys. Everyone's doing it. It's not cool. No,
I know. And you know what?
You
The
as a
truth
mom.
is, I know the kids need sleep. So that's some other
10
conversation.
hours.
I know, and they're doing that. But you're right. I feel that. There's things that have to get done that are not getting done. And as a parent, where do you stop? How do we let them fail? Although now it's a pretty tricky time to not have some shit done right.
Oh, yeah.
You're going off.
Consequences
you're
matter
do.
now, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot not, pay that first tuition bill, or if you're working and you're supposed to attend a training or to get certifications, right? These things have to happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, okay, is this the midsummer conversation you have with your teenager?
This is.
Okay.
Teenager who is post-high school graduation typically.
Right.
Or in that realm. Maybe
right.
17 to 23,
we
dude.
think we've launched. We haven't. We're practicing letting go.
Yep. There they are.
Yeah. So what are the top things we're going to share? If we can help any other mom or dad, please let's do that.
Even
this is hard.
Our girls happen to be seniors, but let's say that you're a junior going into your senior year.
Big year.
I remember thinking that I was late to the game as far as preparing for senior year, and all the things that they needed to get done or maybe could have looked at, And so I think for me, it's been kind of complicated I'm trying to let go and trying to let her do her thing and take responsibility because that's what's going to happen when she goes off to college.
Yeah.
But then I'm having a really hard time keeping my mouth quiet.
No.
When,
Sandra?
Every day I'm like, did you do this? Hey, have you gotten around to that? And
is she doing anything productive during the day that you feel like, all right, I see that and it's a balance? Or is there just no balance in your perspective?
Well, what I'm seeing, and maybe this is different because she's leaving, she's really going far.
Yeah.
And so she's trying to grasp onto every second she can to spending time with her friends.
I think
so
that's
I am
what we're all
trying to
seeing.
be conscious of that and say, well, she's probably feeling that she has to do all of these things and not miss anything. But at the same time, she has deadlines that she has to reach before we go to orientation for college.
Right.
So
that's real stuff.
I nicely asked, and then the next time I ask again, and then at one point she just said, I'll get to it when I get to it. And I'm like, no.
Boundary implementation.
Right?
Well, they think they're setting a boundary.
That is a red flag.
Maybe it's your yellow flag.
No.
Yeah.
It's really, it's so typical, right? Isn't this a little bit textbook?
It is.
We think that they're going to be more responsible. And I just saw it recently, and we went somewhere to celebrate. And you think they kind of have it, but they still don't. They're still young. It's still not all together. So we've been doing these checklists. So if the checklist is not done, you don't get to go do something. And I mean, kind of sticking to it. I could definitely have always
Do we
been
as
better than
parents,
that.
have we ever had that happen to us as
Therapy
adults?
in the making.
I mean, do we ever get like cut out from something we wanted to do because we didn't turn something in? Okay, it'd be like paying a car payment. I'm trying to think of like how these kids can understand. Like, dude, this is intense.
Right. No, you're right.
Yeah, you
like
have
you don't
to-
pay your light bill, the
That's
shit
right.
gets
It's going
shut off.
You've said that before about her living in an apartment,
Yeah.
right? Versus the dorms where they're still not necessarily picking up that task. So it's kind of cool that yours going to.
Well, I had a parent ask me the other day. Apparently, their son's going to Texas State. He applied really late. They don't even know how he got in, but he got in last minute. He had good grades, but
he's resourceful,
right? So he got in last minute. So now apparently he hasn't done any of the housing stuff, and deadlines have passed. And then they're kind of pressuring their son, like, okay, when are you going to take care of this? We need to take care of it. The mom's blaming the dad. Dad's blaming the mom. And then I just kind of said, well, what's the worst thing that could happen? He's just going to get assigned somewhere, and it's not going to be where he wants to be, but that's just the consequences that he has to pay, right? Like, because he's not doing what they want him to do to get what he wants.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's exactly, though. That was a perfect question. Like, even in counseling sessions, that's one of my favorite questions to ask somebody. What's the worst thing that could happen? And then they envision it, or they tell you something.
Yeah.
You can say, and what if that happened? What's the worst thing that would happen? You actually ask it more than once, the same question, and you'll get like these different layers.
yeah.
So maybe we use that to our kids right now when they're procrastinating and just make them think through what the worst thing has happened if they don't finish their modules for orientation and they may go, absolutely nothing, Mom. There's nothing that's going to happen. They can't stop me from coming to school. And then what?
Well, and on some of those
these
things,
are first world problems.
on some of those things, it's like, oh, it's fine. You know, like consequences like that, it's fine. But like some of those stuff that she has to do with the financing.
That's a whole
right.
other
So
you're
then
right.
I don't want to show up to orientation. And now that she's considered an adult, they don't send me the information.
Nope. Medical too, ladies. Has anyone done the medical release of, oh my gosh, I don't know. Oh, power of attorney.
Yes, power of attorney. You got to do it.
You've already done yours?
Yes.
Dang it.
Really important.
Okay,
very,
Sandra,
very
we have to do
important.
this. We have to finish that.
I didn't know anything about
when your
this.
kid turns
See?
18, I mean, if something does happen, you're going to have a heck of a time getting information.
Right.
So if you already have a POA, power of attorney, and you can do it online. I have a good friend that's an estate attorney. I'll plug him. No, I won't. He would kill me if I said his name.
Really?
Maybe he would. No, I don't know. Anyway, he's awesome. But he warned me. He actually reminded me about it when Avery was turning 18. So that is very important. One of those things. Yes.
Got to stay bothered about that because that means not only can we not discuss financial stuff if we don't have this in place.
Grades. You cannot see the grades.
Okay, how about if there's a medical emergency? You're not even,
that too.
That's
For sure.
Yeah, but I didn't know about the grades.
You can't see the grades. So don't expect to call up or have the professor write you a note.
You get the notification on your app.
Homework in. Oh, yeah. Well, no.
Can you imagine?
But it is about boundaries, right? I mean,
is about
that's very
boundaries.
clear. The consequences, natural consequences. And we as parents, this goes back to we're wanting to save our kids from any pain. And we just really shouldn't. We really, really shouldn't. They should just, it should hurt because life hurts.
Well, and not to make it about like the Cambodian schools you built, but you have seen such a different perspective of like how the appreciation for what you have. And so that's another angle too with our kiddos. Like, you know, the appreciation of not having to suffer like that. But then are we rescuing them too much? Is what you just said.
We are rescuing
know.
them too much. We absolutely are. 100%. And again, you know, that's my $500,000 of therapy, rehab centers, 6 kids, all kind of psychologists. No, $500,000 exaggerate, but it feels like that.
Right? Yeah.
But the truth is, the kids absolutely have to fail, and they get to go to school. They get to. They don't have to. And my kids, I'm sure, are tired of hearing me ad
that's a
nauseum
big deal.
just say things like, "You get to go to school.
That's
you
a small
get to go to the
refrain
doctor."
we need
It's
to remember.
Cambodia.
Yeah.
We need to remember that one. Thanks.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
You get to go to work.
Get to.
Yeah. In Cambodia, they're so grateful. I've never seen anything like it. And that's most of the world where you have kids that have nothing. So we think, and they get to go to school. I mean, it is a conversation to be had. I think it's very important
really
and something
good.
not to take lightly. Reminder, and I don't care if I say, their kids starving in Cambodia. My parents said their kids starving in Africa. I know I always wanted to pack up the food. But anyway, yeah, these kids just got to step it up a notch. for sure.
So maybe some of the failures, if there's any this summer that they might experience, are actually good and natural. Like, I hate when I say that because I also have to implement it, because that is a real hard line, I think, for the adults. How do we set boundaries and not enable them? If we let the boundary, or let them fail, is what you just said. That's really it.
I say let them fail.
Yeah, let them fail and not go rescue.
If only they knew what we know. We're so wise. Really.
We are in our
Everything
fifth
that we've gone
decade.
through led us to who we are today.
That's
and
right.
it's okay.
That's right.
And that's part of staying bothered. That's part of why I wrote that book, and just being able to share with other people that you can make big, tragic mistakes early on in your life.
Yeah.
And later on, you can actually go back and say, that made me who I am. I'm genuine. I'm authentic. I'm embarrassed, maybe, but it is what it is. So you're going to be okay, kids.
Good. Yeah.
No matter what, you're going to be okay. I mean, look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I just like sometimes I have
there.
a hard time because
Who would have
it's like-
thought that?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
because I'm
good
watching
one.
her and I'm like, I see that she's procrastinating. And she's procrastinating because has that fear that if she, that's just a step closer to her leaving, right?
So is it the fear of leaving or the fear of failing once she leaves?
I know. I think it's her just fear of leaving, that anxiety of she's going to a different place, that she's not going to be around her friends anymore, and that whole thing.
Yeah,
So then the more she does, I feel like the more she gets ready for it, then the more real it becomes.
That's true.
And
That's
so
true.
as a parent, it's like, you could put your foot down and say, well, you have to get this done and that done, right? And then I struggle with not telling her. First of all, I struggle with not calling her out and saying, well, this is what's happening,
Yeah.
And then I struggle with the fact that I should just let it be. And then when we get there for orientation, when she doesn't have the stuff done, what's going to happen? But then also it rolls over into me because I'm taking the time off from work. This is where I get bothered. I'm taking the time.
Here it is. Okay, let's
I
call
love
it
that
like
it's
it is
being.
right
I can
now.
hear it in your voice.
Like I'm taking the time to go take her to do these things. So her not being prepared is putting me now in a bad situation, right?
Well, and also people are very judgmental. So they're always like, why didn't the mother stay involved and get it done?
Well, that part doesn't bother me
good
at all.
because that's the stuff we can just let it roll. But
Yes.
you're right. Your time, your energy, all
So
that.
I did
you know?
tell her, I wrote her a note because I was like, I don't want to argue with her. And I said, okay, these are the 3 things that you're supposed to get done.
I love that idea, by the way. I'm glad you're sharing this. The note.
yeah.
Write a note.
Keep going.
Yeah,
What
if
else did you
can't
say?
figure it,
I was like,
feel
these are the
uncomfortable.
3 things
Sticky notes.
that you need to get done. This is how much of my time you're taking, which it cost XYZ. And I was like, every day that goes by, it's costing me this much money. I said, so you have until, I told her a deadline to get it done. And if you don't get it done, then I'm going to start charging you for my time.
Literally, you should have that written down for all of us to see.
Okay,
That was
announcement
really-
to my entire family. I'm going to start charging.
I know.
I just want you to know.
Can you believe
I'm going to
that?
send you all a bill.
Where
You
is
call
our
me and I'm
Sandra?
busy.
You have changed my life.
I need an income.
That was brilliant.
No, and she did it the next day. Because I was
Well,
like,
see, there you
it's
go.
just, I'm not.
It's a good outcome.
Because she was like, I'll get it done tomorrow. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm off today. I have the time to do it today with you. But tomorrow I have to work. So then that's why I was like, I'm going to start charging you because this has gone too long.
I love that she's this left-brained,
I know.
right?
Yes, it's very logical. Yeah.
It is logical.
I would
love it.
forget.
That. Yeah, that's
Well,
a nice
she doesn't call it
balance.
logical. She says, you're mean.
Because you're logical. There's no fluff right there. That's all business, which you know what is direct, and that communication is really impactful. Like I think that is probably how come our kids have gotten a little off track. There's so much, talking around things instead of just directly using logic. That does work
Letters
for some
are
kids.
really good. I would say a takeaway from today is to any parent that might feel a little uncomfortable talking to their kid, and I think that could be hard to admit.
Yeah.
However,
Sure.
I've written tons of letters through my years of parenting. At the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, if there's something going on, and I just write it and say what my feelings are. And then you talk about it. Because sometimes
That's a
when
good
you
one.
sit down and want to talk to your kid, they're instantly thinking, what's on my Snap? Am I doing this? Are they
We write
really
this check for this
listening to
therapeutic
you?
intervention. This is a
Right.
great, it is,
Yeah.
ladies. I am not
It is.
joking.
Letters are really, really good. I
Letters.
think it's important.
It's a great takeaway.
I mean, I still do that. My boyfriend and I write letters.
Love letters.
Same.
Love letters.
Talking about that again.
Love my life. I can't help it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to do it.
LML.
Uh-huh. It's
love
important.
you.
We should all have our own little acronym. It's hard to say.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
that's
that's how
a
we
good
can
way to
end it,
end.
yeah.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Okay, Jamie,
Let's
you
do
go
that.
because you know yours.
Okay, well, mine is definitely love my life. I have felt
do your
happier
thing
in the last
too on your hand sign
year
language.
than ever before in my life. So I'm appreciating every single thing that I have that comes my way that's good and bad. I just am in a real state of feeling very grateful right now. And it's not things.
Awesome.
It's just what's happening around me. So LML, I'm saying it. I know. Everyone's going to get tired of that too. Love my life.
I don't care.
I don't care.
I was going to say also, it's, when you're going through transition, and that's whether you're in a new relationship, ending a relationship, or kids are leaving, whatever, it is a time to just stay so abreast, so in tune with what you're surrounding. So I love what you're saying because it makes you're appreciating everything.
Well, listen, I know it's not going to last. I know something bad is going to happen because it does.
Well, it does. True.
It's life, and
Okay.
it's just how you handle
Good
it.
one.
And it's not knocking
You
wood
just
or
still love
anything.
it.
Just
Yeah,
love
no, I'm
my
not
life right now.
knocking.
So it's yours.
I
You're
knew you were
in
going to say
tune,
that.
which I know.
I'm
What
going to
is
say
it?
TIL.
TIL, tune into
I'll
life.
stick with my tune into life
I
because I,
like
do
it,
believe in
'cause you
that.
do.
Just being here. Yeah, I try. What about
a
you,
good one.
Sandra?
I'm going to say mine is RYK.
Oh, wow.
Are you kidding? Because it seems like I say that a lot.
You do. That's a good one. I love it. Okay,
that
we'll
was
wrap
really good.
with that.
Okay, good one.
So until next time.
Adios.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thanks. Bye.